Assalamualaikum en hartlike welkom by Proe. Ek is Abidah Dixon Mohamed en vandag kuier ek in die kombuis saam met Faaiza Landers-Latief. Hallo julle. Luister, ek wil net gou vir julle sommer reguit sê Auntie Elsie is hier vandag. Ek mis haar baie. So daar gaan nie klompie geblymery wees vandag nie. Soos net aan kan maak en julle weet aan kan maak praat jy agter die skerms nie. Maar weet julle, ek kuier vandag in die Belwel. Ja, in die Belwel. En julle weet ons travel. En vandag my gas in die kombuis is Faaiza. Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam, Auntie Abidah.
Man, laat ek nog gou nou vir jou nogal mooi nou sê. Ek het jou so lanklaas gesien, dat ek nou eers moes nou visualize het, hoe lyk jou gesig nou weer. En nou het ek jou nou weer gesien, nou sê, okay ja, nee, die is Faaiza, die is Faaiza. Faaiza, vertel vir ons kykers, wat maak jy vandag vandag?
Today I'm making some fried Korean chicken bao buns.
Goed.
So it's like a steamed bun with a very crispy chicken.
Okay.
And that's basically what it is.
Alright.
Quick and easy.
Nou, as ek nou praat van bestanddele, wat het ons hier?
Okay, we got our chicken fillets, about 3 of them, right?
Good.
And then we got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. You're going to use half a teaspoon of white pepper, teaspoon of salt. But before we do all of that, we're going to make our buttermilk. And yes, you can make your own buttermilk. You don't have to go and buy it. Make buttermilk. So we're using a cup of milk.
Yeah.
And about 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, you can even use vinegar. It works perfectly well.
Is that all?
That's it. So you're going to just pour it in.
Yeah.
You're going to stir it. Let it sit for a bit. And then you'll see it curdles a bit. And then you have buttermilk. Quick and easy. You don't have to go and buy buttermilk.
Nou kan julle sien. Dis wat ek julle altyd sê. Dis hoekom ek hou van die show man, want dan mens leer so baie dinge op die show by verskillende mense. Nou okay Faaiza, ek gaan so lank jou hoender vir jou sny.
So you cut it into strips?
Ja, in strips.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
as ons praat van lang strips,
cut it in half first.
Yes.
And then you cut the half in a strip. So you
In a
don't have
strip.
such a long
Okay.
strip.
Alright,
Okay.
Alright, ek het jou.
Then I'm going to start with the bao bun.
Ja.
Quick and easy. So I'm using 3 cups of sifted cake flour.
Goed.
Right? 5 grams of instant yeast.
Okay.
About 4 tablespoons of normal white sugar.
Yes.
And you are just going to first mix your dry ingredients together. Right? For your wet ingredients, I'm using 200 ml of lukewarm water mixed with 25 ml of normal vegetable oil.
Oil.
Right?
Maar as ek nou nie olie het, kan ek ook olifoil gebruik.
Yes, any oil is fine.
Alright. Voor ek gou verder gaan, is hierdie strips
That's fine.
okay?
That's
Is dit
perfect.
okay?
Yeah.
Hierdie is 'n bietjie breed, so kan ek hom
Leave it like
Net
that
so.
for the reason, yeah.
okay, alright. Maar
So then we're going to add our wet ingredients. Right? And we're going to... If you need more liquid, just add a bit of more water.
kyk hier, ek wil ook net vir julle sê, 'n mens kan sien sy het 'n TikTok channel. En 'n mens kan sien sy kook op die TikTok channel. Want sy is so comfortable en sy weet presies om in die kamera te kyk so
You can follow my TikTok page. It's Faaiza Eats and Lives. And on Instagram, it's Faaiza_Eats and Lives.
Nou kan julle nou sien. Kan julle nou sien hoe voorbarige sy nou weer. But just because I love her so much, ek gaan dit maar toelaat, né? Okay.
It's all about making use of the opportunity that's given to you. So we're going to mix our dough until everything has nicely come together, like such, right? And then all that is left to do is, on a lightly floured surface, you're going to knead your dough for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth.
So lang.
Until it's smooth. Sometimes it's less, sometimes, you know, it depends on the temperature in the kitchen also affects your dough as well. So we are just going to knead it until it's nice and smooth. Sometimes it takes 5, but I mean, if you have a hand mixer that has a dough attachment, you could also just, you know, mix it in your hand mixer that has a dough attachment. Or if you're like me, that is going old school here, we are kneading the dough until it's nice and smooth.
Ja, en 'n mens kan sien definitief. Sy is al so gewoond dit doen dat sy nie eens 'n probleem het dat dit is gaan dink, dit gaan nie werk nie of dit gaan nie reg uitkom nie, want sy ken al jou storie nou exactly nou net so.
Yeah. So we're just making the dough slightly elastic. That activates the yeast in the...
Nou gaan hy nou nog moet staan en rys op.
Yeah, so he's going to rise in some, you know, in a bowl covered with some cling foil in a hot area for about an hour and a half. until it has doubled in size.
Okay. Nou Faaiza, dit klink asof jy presies lekker kan kook. Vertel gou daar vir ons kykers man, wat kan sy alles doen of is daar iets wat sy nie kan doen nie?
I don't think there's anything that you can say you can't make. I think a lot of people's very scared of cooking something that they've seen on TV or in a restaurant because we have this perception, oh, it's going to be so difficult to make. But once you found a recipe and you made it your own, there's nothing that you can't make. So I've been cooking for years. I grew up in a house where I had to cook on a Sunday morning. From being a teenager, my mother always said you need to learn to cook. And we had to help and cook food. Obviously, as you get married and you have kids and you have a house of your own, you start to experiment with food because now you're not cooking mommy's food. You're not cooking what mommy wants. You're cooking because you saw something, a recipe or you ate something and you just want to try it. So I've always been very adventurous with cooking. I like trying new things. There's no such thing as it can't be made, like I mentioned.
Kyk hier, nou, sy gesels so lekker met die mense, dat het lyk sy vergeet ek staan eintlik hier, né? So gesels nou met my ook man, nie so wees.
Okay, so now,
nou kyk gou hier, ek het dit nou.
Your chicken is sliced. Yeah. You're going to add your garlic powder all over the chicken.
Okay.
But don't worry because you're going to mix it through.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. Why I say not a lot of salt, you're going to be using soy sauce and things which has high salt content, right?
That's okay.
That's fine, yes. And then you're going to add about a half a teaspoon of white pepper.
White pepper. Maar as ek nie white het, kan ek black gebruik.
But then a bit less. Black is a bit more overpowering than what white pepper is.
Black maak ook 'n bietjie swart. Let you, oei! There we go.
Okay, so now you just mix it through.
Okay, ek gaan maar jou lepel. Nou, Faaiza, kom ek sê nou gou, dat julle het nou lekker uitgegaan as 'n familie vir die dag. Hier kom julle terug, sy het vergeet om iets uit die diep vries uit te haal, om nou gaar te maak. Wat is jou go-to ding vir hulle?
I always make sure I have air fry things in the freezer.
Okay.
I'm a mom of teenage boys, and I travel for work a lot, and they stress my mother out when she needs to make food for them because they don't want what mom made. So I always make sure there is, it's chicken, pies, anything they can make in the air fryer, in the freezer, chips they throw in the air fryer. It just makes life so much easier. But if there's one thing that my boys love, it's a toasted cheese sandwich, a simple toasted cheese sandwich.
Oh, okay. Nou soos julle daar hoor, hulle is die vol femisie, hulle lyk sommer al die goedjies wat hulle self kan doen, so hoekom moet hulle maar dan nou nog vir haar stres, hulle as hulle self kan help. Bly julle gou daar, ons is nou weer terug. Jong, ek kan vir julle sê, die Faaiza se kennis storie, né? En het lyk vir my, ek het niks eens om amper te vra nie, want sy gooi het en sy gooi het en sy gooi het, maar ek los haar net so. Nou Faaiza, hier is jou hoender gesny, sout, peper en garlic powder. Nou, ek moet sê, die is vir my like absolutely amazing. Die is jou koppie melk.
En 2 tablespoons lemon juice, ja.
En nou, hy vragtie maar julle, ek lig nie vir julle nie. Kyk hier. Kyk hoe dit trek die suurlemoen die. Kyk nou net hier so. Nou, amazing. So hy gaat hier oor.
You're going to pour it over the chicken?
Alles.
Heeltemal oor die hoender. Bietjie Afrikaans praat.
Ja, daar sy. Let me just scratch it out.
Okay, vir 'n bietjie deurroer.
Lekker. Nou sien julle nou daar kom dit nou.
Ek weet nie wat is klinkfilm in Afrikaans nie.
Moenie vir jou worry daar.
Okay, maak hom toe met 'n bietjie klinkfilm. Okay. En so in die yskas vir 2 tot 4 ure, ja.
Moet ek dit roer?
Ja, eers deurroer. Al die hoender moet bedek word in die bottom.
Weet jy nou dat ek nou eintlik dit sien, hè? Nou dat ek eintlik dit sien, kan ek vir jou sê, ek soggens drink ek mos suurlemoenwater en bla 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 bla. En toe een oggend toe maak ek 'n mistake, toe gooi ek die suurlemoen in steed van die water, toe gooi ek melk in my koppie met die suurlemoen. En toe het ek dit daar gelos en in die microwave maak die melk mos warm. En toe die melk nou kook, toe sy melk nou suur. You get what I'm saying? Toe kom die hele ding is nou dik op so suurmelk. Nou dat sy nou dit noem, nou kry ek gedagte. Okay. So dan daai was die regtig series wat daai was dan
Buttermilk.
buttermilk.
Wat net die Abidah warm
Nie
gemaak
geweet het nie. Wat anyway. Okay, so waar is jou klere?
Okay, die klingrap is in die kas, maar
In die kas.
in die kas.
Nou sing jy nou. Sy, ek het haar gevra so mooi, do you have everything? En sy het gesê ja.
I
Maar
have
okay,
pens.
as
I
jy
have
trendsmessie.
pens.
As jy trendsmessie. Okay,
Okay,
ons gaan
so
nou kry.
You're going to cling wrap that and
Yes.
put it aside, right? So now your dough is nicely, you've done it. Can you see it's bouncing back? It's nice and soft. You're going to put it in a bowl with some
Okay.
oil,
Okay.
right? Just put a little bit of oil on top of the dough as well.
Ja.
And then you're going to cover it and put it aside in a hot space
Faaiza,
about an
help me
hour until,
So.
let me just get the scissor for you.
Uit. Sny hom af. En maak hom toe. There you go. Ek is so verkeerd.
There we go. And then you're just going to put it in the fridge. And this you're going to put in a hot place, okay?
Kan was so lekker.
I've got some kitchen towel, yeah?
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So, wat maak dit nou
So
eintlik
this actually
in?
softens your chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have nice and soft and tender chicken.
Ja.
That is what it basically does. It just softens your chicken. Okay. So after, what, 2 to 3 hours, we're going to dust
Kom so
it in
lank
a...
as ek mag vra.
The longer chicken lays in buttermilk, the softer it is. Yeah.
Okay, nou julle weet ek is nie so slim in die kokery nie, né? Nou aan leer sy mos nou by experts mos nou so dit, né? 'n Tip of 2. Julle weet mos, hy is te komstig na my toe. Kyk hoe hy aan kan maak in die agtergrond, is reg, is reg. Alright. So nou Faaiza, nou jou dough, wat gaan nou met hom gebeur?
Hy gaan nou rys
Yes.
in 'n
Hy moet
warme plek
Hy moet nog op 'n plek gaan.
vir omtrent so 'n uur en 'n half
Okay.
tot hy dubbel die volume is.
Volume.
Okay. Yeah,
Volume
Afrikaans
is.
is getting there, people. Until it has doubled in size, basically.
Alright. En nou kom ek sê nou, hy is nou klaar, die is nou klaar. Gou verder. Wat
Okay, now because we are on TV and we can't
Yes.
wait 2
Yeah.
hours,
Yes.
I have made a batch
klaar ingemaak.
beforehand,
Okay.
right? And as you can see, this batch has doubled in size beautifully. We're just going to punch the air out,
Ew.
right? On a lightly floured surface.
Dit laat my nou dink aan toe mamma hulle nou nog die brood gekneed het en gebak het en met rys. Nou laat die my nog gou so daaraan dink nou.
So all we're going to do is you take your rolling pin, right? Cover it in a bit of flour.
Yes.
And we are just going to roll it out
Okay.
to about 2 centimeters in height, right? In thickness, should I
Ah.
say. Roll it out. Just make sure that, you got it even.
Nou Faaiza, dieselfde dough, vir wat kan jy ook nog gebruik?
This is quite a very basic dough. So I mean, it's like a normal bread recipe. It's literally yeast, sugar, some salt, and your oil and your water. You can even make little rolls or even some bread out of this if you wanted to. The only difference is we are going to steam it.
Okay.
Right? Like people also used to steam bread. So you're going to take a cutter, right? Any round big cutter.
Yeah.
You can even use a glass or a mug or even, the blender's jug.
Wat ewe ronde
Right?
giet
So
of
we're going to make
figures hy wil hê.
round circles.
Yes. Daai verhoed mos nou dat hy nog nie vas sit nie.
Yeah.
Okay. Hoeveel kry jy gewoonlik nou uit so 'n batch uit?
This is a single batch. Normally I make a double batch. It all depends also on the size of your cutter. The smaller the cutter, the more you're going to get. The bigger the cutter, the less you're going to get, right?
Okay.
So this is about, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if
Yes.
you're going to put it together, probably about 10.
Yes.
But I normally make a bigger batch and then we get about 20, out of a double batch. You could just double the recipe.
Okay.
I'm just going to, my oil is...
En as ek gou mag vra, hoeveel keer maak jy dit omtrent?
I actually made this 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
My husband, my oldest one, and my dad loves this stuff. Like loves this stuff. So because it's quick and easy to make, also once they're done steaming, you could actually just freeze them. And then if you wanted to use it again, just steam it.
Okay.
Just re-steam it until they're soft. Yeah. So once you have your circles right,
Okay.
I'm just taking the excess dough. Oh, this one.
Okay, nou terwyl sy gaan nou die excess dough daar afhaal, bly julle gou ingeskakel. Ons is nou weer terug. En ek gesels nog steeds saam met Faaiza in haar kombuis waarvan sy vir ons sommer 'n lekker ietsie maak hier met meel en hoender en you name it. Nou Faaiza, jy het nou hoender is nou lekker klaar gesouk, buns en goeders is amper klaar. Nou sien ek 'n bak met nog bestanddele. Wat gaan ons gou gee?
So we're going to dust the chicken in this flour mixture and then we're going to deep fry it in hot oil.
Okay. Alright.
And
nou,
then also,
moet ek vir jou hierdie nou hier ingooi. Alles.
It's a cup of cake flour.
Ja.
And then we got a teaspoon of garlic powder,
Hierdie ene.
teaspoon of baking powder,
Waar is hy? Hierdie ene.
Yep.
Sy.
a tablespoon of smoked chili flakes,
Goed.
a tablespoon of smoked paprika.
Okay. Moet net smoke wees.
Now you can use normal
die ander
paprika.
ene ook.
About half a teaspoon of white pepper,
Goed.
and then also some mixed herbs, about a teaspoon. So what I'm doing is I'm putting some oil on the bao buns, right?
Ja.
This will prevent it from sticking when it's done steaming and you have to open it up. So all you do is put your oil on and we are going to, like, just fold them
Goed.
in half like that. So all you do with that is
En
on
jy sout
Abidah.
ook inkom?
Yes, half a teaspoon of salt. You just mix that through.
Alright. Hartstikke. Oh ja, hy is mos nog nat. Hy is nog nat. Nee. Okay.
So let your bao buns just rest for about 20 minutes.
Yes.
And then you're going to steam them in your steamer. If I'm using a
Ek wil nou
bamboo,
net gesê dat ek sien dit so mooi.
I'm using a bamboo steamer. This is a two-tier bamboo steamer. But if you don't have a bamboo steamer, you
Yes.
can even use a normal electric steamer, or you could just use a pot with a column. Anything that creates steam, right? But put your bao buns on some baking paper so they don't stick to the steamer, and don't use lunch wrap. It will stick. It has to be baking paper. Okay.
Ek het nooit geweet daar's 'n verskil tussen baking paper
Ja,
en lunch wrap. Ek het altyd gedink dit is dieselfde ding.
Baking paper is like a non-stick paper, and lunch wrap is just a normal wax paper.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna dip your chicken in this. What I also do is I dip the chicken.
Yes.
I put it on a wire rack before I put them in the oil,
Good.
because if you're gonna dip and put in the oil, the first one's gonna be in a minute before you put the last one in, and they're not gonna fry evenly.
Okay, nou Faaiza, ek gaan nou, jy weet nou presies wat jy daar wil doen. Ek gaan nou gou die vir jou los. Doen nou gou vir my daai en dan sy maar gou jou eie hoender en dan sit jy daarop, want ek wil nou net daar mos.
So what you do
know
is just put your wire rack over, your board or something. Open the chicken.
Yes.
I'm just going to use a thong,
Yeah.
right?
Ja.
So you're gonna make sure that it's lekker coated in the
Okay.
dust of the excess flour,
Yeah.
and then just put it on the wire rack before you fry a batch. You're gonna fry them in batches.
Wow.
Then once the first batch is frying, you dust your second batch. Then it's ready for the oil again.
So jy sit basies alles gelyk in sodat jy weet dit word gaar op dieselfde tyd.
Yes, 100% that it's baked even, fried evenly.
Okay. Nou soos julle kan sien daar, Faaiza dop hom lekker daarin hierop en dan gaan hy gefraai word. Bly julle net gou daar. Nou julle het gesien hoe Faaiza lekker haar hoender gedip in die flour en goeders, né? En as dit nou in die pot gegaan. So lyk dit nou klaar. Lekker uit die pot uit, you name it, warme olie. Nou Faaiza, dat lyk amazing. So, sy gaan nou vir ons 'n sousie maak. Ek gaan maar nou nie daar worry nie. Sy moet maar nou self daar dinge se. Verduidelik gou vir ons kykers, wat is jou bestanddele en hoe werk die
So for the sauce, you're gonna put everything into a pot, right? So I got 2 tablespoons of gochujang sauce. You can
What's
buy
it
this gochujang. It's basically, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. It's basically fermented soya paste, soya bean paste.
Okay.
You can just get it at any Korean, outlet.
Okay.
Then I got a tablespoon of normal vegetable oil,
Ja.
2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Goed. Kan ek dit ook gebruik as
No, the
ek-
brown caramelizes it better, right?
Okay,
4
okay.
tablespoons of normal soy sauce, right? 2 tablespoons of honey. This is raw honey that I'm using, but you
Yes.
can use just normal, honey.
Maar kyk jy mense kry mos ook nie sirup. Kan ek die sirup ook gebruik of moet dit ja?
Then you're just gonna have to use less because the syrup is a bit sweeter than the normal honey. And then I'm using a tablespoon of crushed garlic and ginger,
Yes.
right? And then all that's left to do, and I need to add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil.
Okay, so daai gaan op die pot.
You're gonna simmer it
Yes.
until everything is
die pot
nice
op die
and
stoof.
Until everything is, like a nice thick sauce has formed, everything has incorporated.
Goed, okay.
And then once that's done, while the sauce is going, you can keep your chicken warm in the oven, cover it with foil, or keep it on your air fryer. And your air fryer has a reheat function, keep it warm in there. And then all that's done to do is just take the sauce and coat the chicken in there.
Okay. Nou, question gou. Deesdae as alles mos air fry. Hoender wat moet gebak word, is hy beter in die olie of in...
For this recipe, you need a deep fried chicken recipe, but there's nothing stopping you from air frying it. So if you want a healthy option, you could just cover it in the flour, spray it with some oil, and then put it in the air fryer.
Okay, alright.
So I'm just gonna, my chicken is stir, that's in the stove, on the stove.
Maar ek moet sê dat klink amazing en die feit dat Faaiza, jy kan sien sy maak so baie kosse goedes en sy sit dit so daar uit, né, dat sy nie eens hoef te sukkel of te dink wat nou en hoe nou nie. And I just love that stukkie daar so. Nee, I love it. So okay, Faaiza, as daai nou op die stoof gaan, hoe lank moet hy nou kook op die stoof?
Probably about 2 minutes. All you wanted to start bubbling. You get the sugar melt that's in here, right?
Yes.
Everything caramelizes and comes together.
Yes.
And then once you have a nice sticky sauce, you know it's ready.
En daai sticky sauce kan ek hom sommer ook gebruik vir ander goed of moet hy net wees vir hoender?
Yeah, you can use it for anything. It's
Wat lekker
basically
sticky
just a
is.
nice Korean barbecue sauce.
Wat ek moet vir julle sê, ek kan nie so baie goedes onthou nie. Maar ek sien Faaiza haal net uit en Faaiza gooi net in en sy weet net presies, maar dit kon nou van as 'n mens gewoon weg nou, né? Goedes maak. Dan weet jy nou al presies wat om alles te maak. Maar ek moet sê ek is baie beïndruk met jou, wat kool sy daai nou weer?
Bao buns.
Die bouband. Ek is beïndruk. Want die feit dat 'n mens dit kan maak met meel, water, wat ook al en wat ook al, it is just like a super amazing. So, Faaiza, daai gaan op die stoof. Jou bouband is amper klaar, lekker gesteam. Jou hoender is klaar. Wanneer ons terugkom, dan sit ons hom net by mekaar.
100%.
En dan gaan ons dit nog en dan gaan ons natuurlik lekker proe. O, julle, ek het weer nie gelag vir die dag nie, maar nou laat dan kan maak my lag. Op die laaste nou lekker amper lag. En kan maak het amper oor sy voete geval. Hy voel toch, hy mis van die Elsie. Maar in elk geval, Faaiza, name wat ek nie lekker kan onthou nie, haat ek om te pronounce. So sê gou weer haar vir my, wat is die?
Is Korean fried chicken bao buns.
Okay, daar's hy. Nou het ek hom. Nou kan ek so enetjie kry net om te proe en 'n hardloop jy gou vir ons mense deur wat het hy nou als daar ingesit?
Bismillah. You
Can
can
I
have one. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, we've steamed the bao buns, we've fried the chicken, we've made the sauce with all the gochujang, the soy sauce, the brown sugar, the sesame oil, everything is in there. We coated the chicken in that. I added it to the steamed bao bun. I added some rainbow slaw to it, as you can see. I also added some sesame, some kiwi, chili mayo that I also added to that. So sriracha chili mayo on top of it there as well. And then also some spring onion. And that is all that I've used just to, make it look colorful, because I feel that people eat with their eyes. If food is appealing, people are attracted to it, and that is what they want to eat.
Well, I must say, it tastes amazing. Vir al die sousie wat sy gemaak het, né? Hy sousie wat sy oor die hoender gegooi het, hy sousie maak alles reg. En sy kan sommer dadelik die garlic kan sy proe wat sy daar ingegooi het. Faaiza, sy mag maar hoor, sy mag maar. En die feit dat die hoender is so lekker sag soos hy gesê het, né?
The buttermilk makes the
So dit is die buttermilk. Nou weet ek ook vir 'n feit om ook miskien my hoender aan die buttermilk te lê, om dit dan ook lekker sag en goed te maak.
Also, like I said before, if you made a big batch of bao buns and you don't want to use everything, just steam it. Just freeze it in a Ziploc bag, and all you have to do is just put it back in your steamer once you want to use it, even frozen, and then just steam it until the buns are soft, and then you can just reuse them again.
Maar ek gaan nou vir julle los met die laaste noot. Ek gaan vir Faaiza vra om Kanala haar eie lekker TV channel oop te maak, want sy is so comfortable voor die kameras. Sy het niks nodig nie. Maar ek kan vir julle sê, ek weet nie van julle nie, ek kan julle net jaloers maak, Faaiza, ek kan julle jaloers maak, maar ek, Anke maak, Boetie Prime, en julle weet, ons het altyd te gehoor agter die skerms. So ons gaan nou vir jou verder lekker proe. En ek hoop jy die dag lekker geniet saam met my en Faaiza Landers-Latief. Tot volgende keer, mooi bly. Ek is Abidah Dixon, Mohamed. En volgende week gaan kuier ek vir nog 'n dame met die naam van Naima Davis.